Well, hello everyone, and thanks for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner. Before we get started, here are the people that I would like to thank for commenting on my last video. And I must say, I was so pleasantly surprised with the response of wonderful comments about my sweet new puppy, Fiona. You know, when I was filming the video, and things about my 50th high school reunion, as I was thinking about uploading it, I thought to myself, well, I am a paper crafter, and people may not like this video or find it interesting, and it pleased me that everyone did enjoy it and did enjoy seeing my sweet little new puppy, Fiona, and to see things about my 50th high school reunion. Now, my sister, Sherry, she said that she even watched it all the way through. Well, you just told on yourself, sister, because that means that you don't always watch my videos all the way through. No, I know she does, but she's so busy crafting herself that I know she's maybe not watching the video. She has it on, but she's not completely watching the whole thing. But anyway, I had so many wonderful responses, and it just was wonderful. So thank you so much. But we're going to get back to crafting. Now, I want to start on Christmas journals, but you guys are probably just like me. When you go to start on a new project, you think, well, I maybe need to organize that before I start on the project. And I do that. And so I thought what I would do as I was pulling out my big, huge box of Christmas things for journals, I thought, well, they're not very organized. So I thought, let's make another one of these ephemera books like I did here. Oh, see, the camera's too far down. But maybe if I pull these over, I'll be able to flip open the pages. But I love these books because you're able to look very quickly and in a more organized fashion. Fiona's kind of gnawing or nipping at my nightgown right now. You little sweetheart, you. But anyway, you're able to see what you have a little bit better than the way I previously had things. Ooh, there's all my whale tail tags. Let's put those there. But anyway, let me show you how I have them in the past. And you guys might have your things the same way, but you can see how much easier and nicer. And I love this book. This was a fantastic book. Oh, that was my daughter. She's actually in Spain right now, and so I'm watching the grandkids, and I'm having so much fun with those kids. It's great that they're teenagers because they don't take a lot of work, because they actually are, bathing themselves. If they want something to eat, they can do that. They get themselves up for school without any problems. My granddaughter, Olivia, is driving, so she is, able to get around on her own and do things. But I know I'm squirreling all over the place, but normally this is how I have some of my ephemera and stuff. And you can see that, you're constantly digging in the bag to try to find what you want. So that's why I like making those holders. But this morning, what I did is I went to Deseret Industries, which is like a charity shop, and it is run by the Churches Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They're here in Arizona. They may be, I'm sure there's some up in Utah, Arizona. I don't know where all they're at, but it's just like your regular charity shop or your Goodwill store. And I wanted to show you what I got to assist me with these ephemera holders. So this was there, and it's parchment paper. Now, if you buy it on Amazon, it's $20.92. And I paid $4 for this. It was completely steel sealed up. And there is, I think they said, I saw there was 100 sheets. So that was a good find. Yeah, 100 sheets. And then I got these Tyvek envelopes, which I use Tyvek, and I will show you how I use it when I go to construct my ephemera holders. But if I was to buy it off of Amazon, a set of 15 envelopes is $17.69. This only has 5 instead of 15, so I divided it by 3. So if I bought them off of Amazon, it would be $5.89, but you can see I paid $1 for these, and there were 2 packs there, so that was neat. And then for my books, to reconstruct them into ephemera books, I like to buy things like this one is good. It says the Christmas book. I will cover that with some lace or something, but I like to buy the Christmas ones because then when they're sitting on my shelf, I can see really easily that they have my Christmas ephemera in them. And so this one was $1. That one was also $1. This was $2. I'm not quite sure why, but what I will do is I will take that cover off, and then I will put something over sunset. It will say Christmas Treasury, and then I'll cover something with that. And so that's what I got for making these ephemera holders. Okay, to start, let's just wet this label and see if we can get it to peel off. I love the way there's a little bit of gold here around the edge. Yeah, that's coming up. And then I got the book, and there can be images in these books that you may use. You can't scan them or copy them because it's, it's not out of copyright yet. My understanding is something has to be, I think is it 100 years? Let me know if I'm incorrect on that. Has to be 100 years or older to be able to scan it, for it to be out of copyright. So then, as I look at the book on the inside here, it is one of those that's sewn in or glued in. I don't see, let me just flip through. I don't think there's ties. Let's see. But I'm pretty sure I want, like, look at some of these images. Are they not the coolest? But I think, yeah, I think it's all glued in. Yeah, I don't see any ties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper cutting knife here and just run along the side here and cut this out of here. And it'll lay open a little bit more. There we go. And then I'm going to do the other side. And then I'll be able to lift all these papers out, and then I will be able to put, and I suppose I could have put, no, I want to save these. I was thinking, oh, I think that's a digital. Where did I see that? I was thinking, I've seen digitals of that image. I think of that one. Here, I'm getting, okay, sister, you're getting sidetracked. So I'm going to just run this, like I said, this craft knife down it and open this up and pull these out of here. This is a Fiskars, and it's nice because and you can change the blade. That unscrewed, and you can put a new blade in there once it gets dull. I know I probably just hit the microphone. I'm sorry, guys. When I go to edit the video, I will mute that. So I just put Fiona in her crate and I fed her lunch. And so she will probably lay down now and take a nice little nap. She's, I think, sleeping the whole night through. I don't know because I'm not here. I'm at my daughter's house. Yeah, see, I think I need to make that a little bit bigger, this spine. So I'm going to show you what you do is you cut. Let me see if I want to do this. How do I want to do that? Because I do like this, the way it says that. Oh, I'm going to just go for it. And that's not big enough, that spine. Nope, that's the way I got to go. There we go. And then I'm trying to decide if I just want to extend it out that way. No, that will look messy to me. And so I was thinking of only extending it on one side, but I won't like the way that looks. You got to get it right in that one spot. But be careful enough to where you're not, you don't cut yourself. So that's why I'm trying to be very, very careful here. I don't want a laceration that I got to go to the ER for. I got to pick grandkids up at 3 o'clock. So can't be stuck in the ER. Oh, so this brings up a point when I'll talk about my ER experience. So this is one thing that kind of drives me crazy is when kids are shopping with their moms and dads, and we're talking like toddlers, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, and the parents have them in the shopping carts, and they're going down the aisles, and the kids are standing up in the shopping cart. Well, if you knew how many times I had to help an ER doctor sew a kid's forehead up because the child is standing in the cart and for some reason, somehow they flip out and then they go tumbling over the side of the cart and whack their head and have a big old laceration. Now, I let my kids be in the cart when we were shopping, but they had to be sitting down. They could not be standing in the cart. So you parents and grandparents, take the advice from an old ER nurse. Make your kids sit in the cart. Don't let them stand up in the cart. So, you know, it's rare that I really miss working, but every once in a while, like that story right there, I was thinking, oh, I miss the ER. I miss working there. So I'm going to put it on fast forward for a little bit as I clean up the edges of the book. Now these are Tim Holtz scissors and they're the serrated ones, and they are great for this kind of work because there's a lot of glue and they're very thick on the edge. And if I use my regular cutting scissors for paper, it will dull them. But these nice serrated ones will cut through this very well. So I dropped the boys off about 7 in the morning for school, and I don't have to pick them up until 3. So I come back to my house and I'm able to do a little bit of crafting. So that's not a bad gig for babysitting. So anyway, so yeah, my daughter and son-in-law, they were in Greece for a week, and now they're in Spain. And those are two places I have yet to been able to visit. And when I see the pictures, I'm so jealous. My daughter has a gluten allergy, and so she has to eat everything gluten-free. And I'm telling you, in Europe, those Europeans, they have it together. You tell me if other countries have this same level of being able to accommodate to people's diets. Well, maybe it's because she knows how to do it, but she can find the best bakeries that are gluten-free. She finds these recipes or restaurants that are gluten-free, because I'm telling you, she gets just even a tiny bit of gluten and she is sick as a dog. She's in bed. She's got severe abdominal pain. And so she's able to find the best places. Okay, so that's going to be our front cover and our back cover. Now I'll cover this up and I will cover that. But now I need to go get some like strong cardboard to make a different spine. So what I did was cut myself a piece of, it's kind of a foam board. I bought it at Hobby Lobby, and it's 2 inches across, and then it's the same length of the book. And I'm just going to lay it in here. Then I took apart one of those Tyvek envelopes that I'd gotten at Deseret Industries, and I cut it to where I want to be able to see this line here and this line here, but still be able to attach the two books. So I'm going to lay that in there like that and glue that together to attach the front and back and our new spine. So normally I would do it on this other side. Let's see how, I just want to make sure that, actually I still think it's going to be okay. Well, I don't know. Wait a minute here. I usually will glue it like that, and this like that, and this like that. But I want to be able to see that, so I'm figuring it out in my head, but now I realize that. Okay, turn this over like this, and this like this, and then the spine, and then I will be able to glue this here. Normally I would do it, like I said, the other way around, but I want to make sure that this line stays like that. So let's just see how it goes. So I'm going to add glue to the spine here. And I'm using my favorite Beacon 3-in-1 glue. You've heard me say this many, many times, but recently my sister Sherry called me and she couldn't remember how or what you use to thin either the Beacon's 3-in-1 or also the Fabri-Tac, and it's acetone. So what I do, and I've showed you this before, I decant my Beacon's 3-in-1 into these small little squeeze bottles, and then every single time after I fill this, I add a little acetone, probably a teaspoon or so, to the bigger bottle, and then that way, and shake it up, and then that way it's always thinned out, because acetone, the 3-in-1 Beacons glue, will get thick on you and it will be more difficult to use. So I think that's going to be okay like that. So what I've decided to do for the outside of the spine is just take this piece of fabric and glue it down. And I decided to use double-sided tape, mainly because sometimes the wet glues seep through, especially if it's a thin fabric. And so I think for my purposes, just because this is a ephemera holder, for my personal use, it doesn't matter if it doesn't stick completely all the way down. So what I do is I peel off part of the double-sided tape and then just kind of bring down a little bit at a time and smooth it out. So I was able to talk to Rachel today at Roxy Creations. She is going to be in Australia in March, and she's going to be holding fabric journal making class. And when I saw it, I thought, oh gosh, that looks good, but it's only a one-day class. And then my friend Christina at Christina Creates, she asked me if I was going to go to it. And I said, well, no, it's really far for one-day class. Now I'm going to turn it over and bring that down. And but I am going to glue this part. But anyway, I said, oh, that's really far for a one-day class, you know, Phoenix to Australia. But I've never been to Australia. So anyway, so when I saw Rachel, then Rachel commented on my answer to Christina. Well, that's all it took, because I said, well, you know, I've never been to Australia. Maybe I need to plan it. So I was answering Rachel this morning on Instagram. And so pretty soon the phone rang. It was a video chat. And we chatted for a while. It had been a while since we had been able to chat. She was making lunch for Steffi and Lulu. They came on and said hi when they got home. So I am looking at flights to go to Australia the first part of March. Now, I would love to have somebody join me. So if you're interested in flying from the US to Australia, to go to Rachel's class, but like I said, I've never been there, so my plan would be to be there for, oh, I don't know, 10 days or more, and tour around. And you know, it's more fun when you have somebody with you. Now, I've asked Pam at Pandora's Junk Journal. She hasn't answered me back yet, but I know her health is not the best. But remember, Pam, I'm a nurse. What better person to travel with than a nurse, especially an old ER nurse? And then I asked my friend Libby, but her kids are going to be in town, so she can't go. And that's where Libby's from, is Australia. She'd have been the perfect person to come with me. And then, and then I asked both my sisters, but they've never been travelers. They're homebodies. They've never really, I don't think they've ever done any international traveling except for maybe down to Mexico. But they would be fun to go with. Sherry, Carrie, come with me. Go to Australia with me. Okay, so that looks good like that. So who knows? I'll keep you posted on whether or not I get to go. Gail, how about you? Why don't you come? I know you're not a traveler either. Anyway, so then I need some little something for here and then to cover the price tag. So let me work on that and I'll be right back. So I found this piece of lace and I thought that looked cute right down there. So I'm going to glue that on there. And I suppose I could use double-sided tape. But I want to put, I want these to stick down. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue. Sure I have it on the right way. You know, sometimes if you can't find the right way, then I guess it really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to run some along the edge here on this little zigzag. Because what I have found is if you put your glue where it's really thick, then you won't see it as much if it seeps through. So I'm going to put it there, and then if you can, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's little bitty like leaves. I'm just going to put little dots of glue there. They're thick. And then up here at the top too. So I'm still watching my grandkids, and they get out of school today at 1, so it's going to be a shorter crafting day. So, but I'm really tired, so I might, since they're getting out at 1, I might even take a nap. Judson wants McDonald's for dinner. Oh my gosh, that kid. He's so funny with his McDonald's foods and stuff. The other kids don't really care for him. They would rather have home cooking. But that Judd, he loves his fast food. So I'm just going to turn this over and lay it right there. And I love how that covers that up. And then the other thing, remember this was part of the book. So what I'm going to do is glue that down. Oops, but I want to make sure that it's centered. So when it sits on my bookshelf, so I'm going to have to do it like that. So I'm going to glue that there. And then I'll show you when I come back. I'm going to also put some clips on it to hold it in place. Okay, so I've put that down the center. It's not cut the best, but again, it's an ephemera holder for me. This is probably a lot more than what a lot of people would do to hold their ephemera. Actually, it's very pretty. It actually would make a really nice journal. So I'm going to let that dry. My next process is to take a piece of grid paper, the width of the spine, and then because it's very, very flimsy, then I glue it onto a piece of 110-pound cardstock. Ah, she's biting on my shoes. No biting on my shoes there, lovey. And I'm going to glue that to it so that Cesar Milan says to go, that sound, that's what he uses to discipline the dogs. And so just now when I did it to show you guys, she kind of raised her head. I know, I was just doing an experiment to tell people. Yeah, she thought I was getting upset with her for something. She's chewing on a toy that I got at Costco. It's this massive gingerbread stuffed animal, and it's got a lot of noise properties to it. Okay, we're going to glue that, and then I'm going to trim it down, but I think I'll just trim it on my paper trimmer so it's even. Then the other thing is I'm going to, oh, she's biting on my shoe again, and then my slipper, and then I'm going to use this fabric to lay over it, because look at how pretty this is. Won't that be pretty in there? That's gorgeous. So let me trim this off. We'll just lay it in there, and right where, this is actually a really nice trimmer. I was using another trimmer that I had, and then I moved things around in my craft room, and I didn't have a place to put the other trimmer, but that trimmer right there is really good. So it's a Fiskars, and it is a Fiskars, I don't know, it's got this kind of a blade. I have written on here chipboard, but I've since stopped using it for chipboard and use it for something else. So, okay, so that's there. And then now I need the fabric to be the width plus a little bit more. Just lay that like that. So probably about like that. It's just such a gorgeous fabric. So I'm going to just do a slight little trim here and tear it. And so I need that to not be more than the height of it. So I'm just going to do a small little cut there and tear that. then I'm going to glue this to this side. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. That is fantastic. Sorry, you guys, I didn't have it in a good frame. So I am going to be able to see this. So I'm again debating on what kind of glue, or you know what? I think I'm going to use the double-sided tape again. It's good. It will give it some more strength also. It was just too thick. This will work here. There we go. Okay. And then, just like before, I'm going to peel off part of it so that I have it a little bit centered. This is one of the tricks that I learned when I was a card maker. So you only pull off a little bit. And then I'm going to lay it to where it is fairly centered. There we go. And then pull it down as it comes down. And then I will poke my holes through here and sew my signatures into there. What I uses for the pages in the signatures is this paper. It's 17 by 11 1/4. I will link it in my description box, but the reason I like this, let me put this down, is it is, first of all, 110-pound weight, and when you fold it, and use that in your ephemera holder, let me show you. It fits in there nicely, and then you have white pages to see your ephemera on. So then what I do is I use this grid paper, and I think I told you about that, and it's just Amazon Basics grid paper. It's really nice paper to use for this. So I glued it to that piece of cardstock, and then I marked off where I want my signatures to go. I've decided on 5 signatures, and like I said, it's really nice white paper that you're able to see your ephemera once you glue those pocket holders on. So I had poked all the holes in the grid paper, and then now I'm sewing my signatures onto the fabric side. And I do use a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. It's my favorite stitch to use, and I'm going to show you real quick. So you go in through the center. I do not cut my thread. You know, a lot of people will do it 3 lengths. I think that wastes, did I say paper? My thread. I don't cut it in advance because I think it wastes it. So I go in through the middle one, then through the middle one with my grid paper and come out. Okay, then I go in through this hole and catch the middle hole that I poked there. And as you can see, it's coming up and through. Okay, and then I'm going to go down through the top hole and through the hole that I poked there. Then I'm going to go back through this hole and sometimes you just have to look. See, I can see right there where I'm going, but I don't want to catch the thread, so I just kind of go through a little bit and then look, make sure it's off to the side. There it is. Okay, and then go through, and you can see it's quite loose now, but I'll be able to tighten everything up in a minute. So then I'm going to go through there. And as I go along, I tighten it up. Okay. So these two, I just pull to make them tight, okay? This one can be toward the end. So then I come down to this hole here. I go in, and right where I poked it through in my grid paper in fabric, it's kind of a little bit of a, you know, struggle to pull it through. Okay. And then through the bottom hole, and that bottom hole in the signature. I've told you this before. There is a 3-hole pamphlet stitch and the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. And I think, unless you're making a really tiny journal, I think the 5-hole pamphlet stitch is going to give your journal a little bit more strength. And then, so then I go back down through this hole, and that's coming through nicely. And I've just got a little bit of a tail left, which would be just enough to go in here. And then I have not wasted any thread at all. You can see this thread is still real loose. That's okay. We're going to fix that. So I'm going to go through here. Good. I'm going to bring it over onto the other side so that one edge of the string is on one side of the center and one is on the other side. So I'm going to bring that all the way through. Okay. And then now I pull on my strings and tighten them up. And I make sure that they look tight here on the back. And when I kind of open it up and look in there. And then the other thing is I even open it up over on this side and make sure it looks tight there. And it does. So then I just give it a nice pull just to really make sure. And then tie it off. I tie it off twice. And unless I'm going to have dangles in the center, then I cut it short, and again, that saves me this wax thread from wasting a lot of it. Okay, so our signatures are sewn onto that spine. So then I bring my book in, I lay it there. I will put a lot of glue here, lay it on the spine and glue it, and then you can see it's got a really nice edge on both sides. So I have glued the signatures down to my book, and then what I've decided to adhere this fabric is with double-sided tape. And the reason is I have found that sometimes the glue seeps through and I don't like the way it looks. So if I just do it like this with the double-sided tape, then it doesn't look like there's glue seeping through. And so just a couple of strips and then pull it down, and then that lays beautifully. And so then next I will use the pockets and add them to the book. And let me just show you the 3 different sizes I use. And these are linked in the bottom in the description box. So I have these big ones. They are index card size. I hope you guys can see them. They're index card size. Those are nice for big pieces of ephemera. And then I got some more of these. These are the, I think, no wait, these are 3x5 cards. These are business size cards. Oh my gosh, let me start all over. These are the index card size. I believe they are, yeah, 3x5 pockets. And then I like to use these, which are the business card size. So that's a good size. I've got a bunch of those. And then these are the label sizes. Let me show you them. And these are nice for little small ephemera areas. So like I said, I like you having 3 different sizes. So I will start adding to those into the pages, and then I will add my ephemera, and I will show you the finished product when it's done. And as I was putting things in my ephemera holder, I wanted to show you this new kit by my friend Jessie over at Vintage Studio 717. She has done some circle ephemera, both in religious and in whimsical, Christmas themed. So this is the religious one, and she's got the numbers 1 through 31. And these, if you happen to have a 2-inch Stampin' Up stamp, or punch, excuse me, 2-inch Stampin' Up punch, she has done it to where it fits absolutely perfect. So look at how nice that is. So this is, I'm going to punch all these out and put them in that ephemera holder. So look, just beautiful, beautiful images. Let me just kind of bring you in a little bit more. You hear Fiona? And then she has the numbers in 1 inch. So if I just bring this in, and again, it fits perfectly. So that was smart, Jessie. Very nice. Very, very nice. And then the same religious images without the numbers. and then some plain ones, and again the religious ones without the numbers. And then here is the whimsical Christmas ones, 1 through 31, again in the 2-inch, Santas and holly and what have you. Beautiful colors, and I loved how she put the gold around the edge. Then some words, and then the same in the 1-inch. And then these are just, again, images, 2 inches. So go on over to Jesse's shop, Vintage Studio 717 over in Etsy, and pick these up. These are really nice, Jesse. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. So I have finished the book. I added a little doily here on this edge right here and brought it over, and you see how that's going to look so nice sitting on a bookshelf. And then I've added quite a bit of ephemera, and if you look at it from here, it's not a gator mouth. It really, this 2-inch spine was quite nice because it's still fairly flat. Now I still have some pages that I can fill, but I'm just going to flip through real quick and show you how the ephemera fits in there and how nice it is to be able to just very quickly flip the pages. Here's a bunch of words. This is Tim Holtz ephemera, some I think 49 and market cutouts. And then this is Jesse's, part of Jesse's kit. This is Tim Holtz. Some numbers here for December dailies. I can add some more things here, and then I'm going to add even more pages there, or pockets. And then here on the page, because this is a nice thick 110-pound weight cardstock, I was able to clip some of my decorative paper clips right on there. And so, yeah, and then I've still got these pages here that I can fill, and it's a good thing because I did myself a little shop, and I went over to Rachel's Roxy Creations shop, and I bought a bunch of her fussy cut ephemera kit, and so I'm going to be able to put those in. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it will help you be organized when you go to make a journal, that you have everything that you need in one place and you can just flip the pages and see it instead of ruffling through envelopes and stuff like that. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks, and bye-bye.